In this video, we will be doing a 2-collared plaid block. You can do this project on any 1/2-inch gauge loom with at least 50 pegs. I am using Lion's brand yarn, Vanna's Choice, and Sea Glass and Dusty Blue. This is a number 4 worsted weight yarn with 273 yards in each skein. This is wrote out 2 different ways for you to read. You can individual rows wrote out right here. You repeat rows 7 through 18. Here's rows 7 through 18, and you can just tally those off as you go. Or there is a chart back here. Now for the chart, if it is an empty square, that is a knit stitch. If it is a square with a dot in it, that is a purl stitch. Now this area right here, we are working with 2 different collars. So that's what those represent. So if you're following this, you would work row 1 through 6, and then 7 through 18 gets repeated. So that's why this is highlighted. You just repeat it as needed. We're going to go ahead and mark the pegs on the loom to help us follow the chart a little easier, which here is the version. This isn't the final version. You guys saw that at the beginning. This is just the version I'm using on here. Now your highlighted pegs this way, these are the actual pegs on the loom. So here we go. We got peg 1 marked, and then we got peg 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And we got peg 7, peg 12, 17, 22, 27, 32, 37, and my stitch marker for peg 41 has fallen off. But that's those. And that just really helps. That helps so much because you're going to know that, okay, this first one here, that's row 7. I know that this is in. I know this starts. I know I switch here. I'm going to start with a slip knot, take that working yarn tail, and put it over top the working yarn itself and pull that through. You've just created a slip knot. You're going to take your working yarn and put it behind your first peg, and then you're going to pull that working yarn through the loop. Notice I have my finger on there just to keep it from popping off. See how it tightens up real weird? That first one always does, but that's okay. You take that tail and put it back there and then tighten it up. And you've got a new loop here, and then you got your working yarn, new loop, both strands of the new loop behind the next peg, working yarn through the loop, new loop behind next peg, working yarn through the loop. Cast on 47 pegs. Put that loop on the very last peg. The first 6 rows are what we call garter stitch. 1 row of knit stitch, 1 row of purl stitch, 1 row of knit stitch, 1 row of purl stitch. You do that back and forth, and that gives you your garter stitch, which is this nice edge here. Go ahead and show you how to do your knit and your purl stitch. Of course, row 1 is knit. You can use any form of the knit stitch that you would like. You can use the flat stitch, U-stitch, true knit stitch, even the E-wrap stitch. The E-wrap stitch isn't as nice and neat, and it's a lot larger. So you're gauging, you'll want to completely gauge again if you want to use the E-wrap stitch and still get a 12 by 12 square. I prefer the U stitch around the front and the back, like a U. So that's your U stitch around the front, around the back. I forgot to mention, the first peg of every row you will skip. It's called slipping the stitch. The reason we are doing that, I will explain in a moment, but you always skip the first stitch of every row. That's the peg the working yarn is coming from. When you are back to that first peg, instead of wrapping it like this in a U-stitch the same way, I'm going behind and around the front. I'm going to knit that over and then I will explain why. This is to help create a nice edge. If you wrap it around the front of the peg and in the back, if you wrapped it around the front and the back like that, and then when you went to do your next round or your next row, see that crosses, that twist the stitch right there, and those ones will turn out like that, which is fine. You have one leg a little longer. If you do it the way that I did, it's more like this, a little more symmetrical, but that's either way is perfectly fine. We're going to be joining these sides together. You're not going to notice any small little difference there. Now you got to remember, do the same thing with the last peg of every row as well. You don't want, I want to kind of like do it over here. Okay, we're going to assume our working yarn is coming from this peg. But instead of going behind and around the front like you do on the first one, so your working yarn is right here, so you're going around the front to the back. Like, I think of it as like a circle. Like a circle. I'm going around the front to the back, and this one I'm going around the back to the front. But in doing it that way, it looks like you're not, like you're still crossing it, but once these are knit over the way the stitch works, it's not. But if you see, if you did it from the back and around, then it does cross it before you knit it over. Either way is fine. I just wanted to show you guys how both of those ways worked. For the same reason, we slip the first stitch of every row. That's going to be the row, that's going to be the peg the yarn is coming from, because look at this. If we rewrap this peg, we'll end up with kind of like a knot at the end. So to avoid that, I just skip that peg and go on. Show you guys how to do the purl stitch. Get everything out of my way. Alright, purl stitch. Working yarn down, working yarn below the stitch on the peg. Loom tool down through the Loom tool down through the top of the stitch on the peg. You're going to grab that and pull it up. You've just created a new stitch here. And take that old one off and put the new one on. Go ahead and work up your first 6 rows. I will come back and work rows 7 and 8 with you. I worked up the first 90 rows of this 2-collar plaid. That puts me on row 91, but it's the same as row 7. So I'm going to work row 7 and 8, 91 and 92 with you. So you can kind of see how I switch these collars back and forth. So we are here at row 7. Your working yarn should be coming from peg 47. You'll be working from 47 back to 1. Working yarn is coming from peg 47. coming from peg 47, so we skip peg 47 and we knit to, I think, 5, so 3, 4, 5 pegs. Now the 6th one, try to move so you can kind of see, we are right here. So we're going to switch, 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 switch. Over these 5, we'll have 3 of that lighter color. So we got this color. I'm going to move that in front. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 and 5. So these 5 stitches are all going to be this color here. We can take and work it to where we twist that white with it in between each one. I said white, it's a green. We can twist that with it. If you twist it after each stitch, you don't end up with the long floats, but it does show through easier. See, that's where I twisted that. Now the other way you can do that, let me see where I'm at here. All right. This section right here, I'm just going to say green, blue, green, blue, green. So you're going to have 3 of the green and 2 of the blue. It'll be matching just like here. See, green, blue, green, blue, green. And then blue, 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 blue. Green, blue, green, blue, green. Blue, 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 blue. Go ahead. It's twisted a whole bunch in the one direction. So I'm actually going to untwist these as I go. Because you can wrap it like this if you want. Kind of hold those back and then knit over after I hit the camera. Now the other way, here's another section of the 5 blue together. Here's another way we can do that if you don't want to do it, if you don't want to twist it after every single one. You can do 2 at a time. So here's that green, here's the blue. We got 1, 2. And then we'll twist it, anchor that in there. 1, 2, anchor, just 1 because that's the 5th one right there. Row 7 is done, and now we are on to row 8, which row 8 your working yarn is coming from peg 1 and you're working towards peg 47. Your first 5 and last 5 will be purl stitches, and the rest you'll be alternating your collars according to the chart. I really like using my KB rotating loom bottom, like the dolly part, to put other looms on. It's really nice, especially when I'm videoing. If I would have done that for this, it would have been a little easier. You'll be repeating row 7 through 18 6 times. This is what it looks like up on the graph part. You're repeating that 8 times. Get it worked up to your bind off section, and I'll show you how to get this off the loom. Our super stretchy bind off. Working yarn's coming from peg 1. You want to take and pull the working yarn down through the stitch on peg 2 and up through the stitch on peg 1. I'm just making sure that very last stitch there is locked in. But it's 2 steps for this bind off. Skip one down, back one up. That's how I remember it. Working yarn is coming from peg 1. You skip one peg. When I say skip one down, so you pull the working yarn down through the stitch on that peg. That's your skip one down. You go back one and pull the working yarn up through that stitch. That's your back one up. So skip one down, back one up. See, now your working yarn's coming from your 3rd peg. Skip one down, back one up. You don't have to, but I'm going to go ahead and pull the working yarn down that last peg just so that the yarn is on the very end. We can take this off the loom now. Oh, I love it. I really like how this turned out. You see how the ends are rolling? It's going to want to do that. So what you'll want to do is hand wash this and then lay it flat. You put something to hold this down while it dries flat. It'll hold its shape better. Thank you guys so much for taking the time to watch this video. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them in the comment section below. My email is in the description below, as well as, you know, right here, the Hypnotic Hysteria at Gmail. That's me. Questions, comments, all that, you know where to leave them. Thank you guys so much for taking the time to watch this. I hope everybody has a fantastic day.